Yeah. So in the last class, we discussed about the ecosystems. Okay. And this class, we are going to discuss about the biodiversities. What would be the webinar topic that you had in the last just before this class? Ashwini? Anant? Hello?
Sir, it was of placements and higher studies.
Oh, placement and higher studies. Oh, that's good part. Right there. Let's start with the today's sessions. Yeah. So the biodiversities. Okay, what is a biodiversities, and what are the biodiversity hotspots around the world and in India, and what are the threats for the biodiversities? Okay, so since what is a biodiversity? It is an variability among the living organisms from all the sources, including terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems. Okay, and the ecological complex. Okay, that's which are very they are a part of this the on the earth, the life, and this includes the diversity within the species and also between the species and in the ecosystems. Okay, so especially it refers a variety of life on the earth in all levels. Okay, and it from the genus to the ecosystems, right? And it's a revolutionary, it's a encompass of the revolutionary of that, right? And there is the what biodiversity is that describes the varieties of life on the earth that includes 8 million plants and animal species on the planet. Okay, the ecosystem that house we have that. Okay, it's a complex and interdependent web in which each member plays a very important role. So we cannot ignore, we cannot neglect the things called the nature. Say for example, maybe the forest, maybe the what the river, or it may be the ocean, or it may be any what you call the Iceland desert, each having this own what you call contributing the the ecosystems. So that's why we call it as in biodiversity, that's why we call it as an ecosystems. Okay, so here biodiversity is a complex, interdependent web. Okay, and in which the each member means even humans also plays an important role and drawing and contributing in the way that it may not be visible on the, I know. So whatever we are giving the contribution that may be visible, but what the trees, the forest, and the river, ocean, what they are contributing to the the nature, the ecosystems, it may not be the visible. If you understand, definitely it is a visible. Okay, it's not in the paper. Every day we are taking the breathe. So every minute we are taking the breathe. That's a good oxygen. How it is coming? It's coming from the surrounding our ecosystems. That is our forest, that is our the good health what we have, that is because of the our ecosystem is very balanceable. So there is no paper, there is no document for that. I mean, every day nobody will show you that, yeah, this is a today you are going to get this much of air and the the other things, natural the resources what we are enjoying, or maybe we are uh, we are routinely taking that. So that nature is giving continuous the good things for us, but I don't think so we are going we are giving the 100% of giving back the same thing to the nature. That's what we should give some the best contribution to the natures. By that way, what you call this planting the trees. Okay, and doing the good things, those things, and save the water, save the life. Okay, these are the good things. Okay, the abundant food what we eat, the air what we breathe, the water we drink. Okay, so all these things coming from the nature, it's a free of cost, no price for that. Taking the breath, there is no cost for that. Drinking the natural water, say coming now, the every year there will be a good rain. Are you paying for the rain? So if the rain comes, heavy rain comes, are you going to pay? The voice is audible. Akash, Akshay Kumar, Anand.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes,
It's
voice is
audible.
audible. So, are you going to pay for some? Okay, today I want more rain. Are you going to pay for that, Akshay?
No, sir.
No, we are not paying for that. You are taking a breath. Are you going to pay for that, Anand? Anand,
Sir?
are you going to pay for taking the breath? Good air?
No, sir.
No.
No. No.
Ashwini, hello. Chandana,
Yes, sir.
are we going to pay for utilizing or what we are in our the water, air, I mean the sunlight? Are you going to pay for this?
No, sir.
It's all nature. It's ecosystems. What we have here on the planet Earth, right? So, I mean, most of the people, I mean, they are forget about the the nature. I think. So, Manasa, Manjunath,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So we
Sir,
are going to pay for some of the rupees called. Okay, today I'm going to take a more breathe. Eh? I need a good sunlight. Are you going to pay for these things?
no, sir.
No. Are you aware of this? Okay, how it is coming? Why the things are every day without delay or without any the reason. Sunrises and sunset is happening without any the the notice that we are getting the rain June, month of June or May, right? So maybe in the Bangalore there may be some pollution. That is because of what we did, the more less trees and more vehicles, right? So whatever we are, the things, enjoying the life, the natural resources, we call it the natural resources, we are not at all paying for that. How we can best way to contribute back to the nature, let's to put the plants, good plants, save the water for your, for this generation as well as for the next generation also. Okay, do the good things, do the plant the trees. I mean, for at least for per year, maybe if you put 20 or 50 also, wherever you get a chance. Okay, that is a good for our you can, that's the best way of giving the contribution to the nature. Hmm? Right, this is a thing, we are not at all paying for anything from the what we are enjoying the natural resources, right? So here is the things why biodiversity matters. Biodiversity is the foundation that supports of life on the earth, land and below the water. See, and it affects every aspect of life, human life, especially the health, providing a clean air and water, nutrients, good food, and scientific understanding and medicine sources, natural diseases resistance, climate change mitigations, everything which is there. If there is a good, the sunshine is there, and it gives the vitamin, vitamin D, and each and every seasons we have a very good like a natural disease resistance power we have. How come it is? That is from the nature. We are not at all aware of this. Okay, because we are busy with the our routine life. We have to go office, we have to complete the targets, we have to finish the exams, we have to read for the exams. I had to go for the IA exams, I had to read it, write the exams, get the good marks, I had to get the good positions. We are all busy with this, right? So this type of working nature, you are somewhat you forget, just you are forgetting. That's how, not only you guys, and is a common nature, common. Okay, the changing and removing the one element of this web effects of this web, it will affect the entire life systems and it can produce the negative consequences. So you got it. So if you, that's the best example is that if you are, if you cut all the trees from the Bangalore cities, just to cut it down, okay, just you are, cut it down and just wait for a 10 days, not even 10 days also. How the, oxygens you will get it, what type of oxygens, whether it is, poisonous air or whether it is any, what kind of air we will get it. because you have a lot of pollution here in Bangalore. Okay, less vehicles, more pollution, more less trees and more the vehicles. So if you cut the trees, and what will happen? That's what is here. Changing or removing the one element of this wave, it will affect entire life systems and can produce the negative consequences. Of course, that's what. Without nature, life on the earth would not be possible. Not at all possible. That's how the impact, the impact of human activity. Human activity have significantly changed since from the 3/4 of the land and the surface, and 2/3 of the oceans. So from 2010 to 2015 alone, if you take it, 32 million hectares of forest is disappeared. How? It may be a forest fire, it may be encroachment of someone else, it may be because of giving for some activities, or maybe urbanization. It may be happened from 2000 to 2015. Urbanization may be happened, right? Because of the cities are developing very fast, very good organizations. You can see the the buildings, the infrastructures, but you are neglecting. You are not at all taking care of. We are not at all taking care of the nature. This is how the millions, 32 millions of hectares of forest land is disappear in the world. So, and in the last 150 years, the coral reef cover has been reduced by half. 50% is reduced. It's because of the urbanizations, and there are many things. Okay, glacials ice is melting. You know that very well. Okay, and acidification grows, threatening the ocean productivity. Wildlife species are disappearing 10 to 100 times of faster now than in the past 10 million years. And also that's within the next 10 years, maybe another 10 to 20 years, so one out of every four known species may have been wiped off from the planet. That is because of our activity, human activities. We are not giving, we are not at all, allowing the, the animals to freely stay back in there, and we are encroaching the, forest land. We are, the cutting the trees, river divertifications, right? There are many human activities. Because of that, these things are happening. This will impact on our human activities. We are on the verge of mass extinctions, and if we continue on this path, biodiversity loss will have several implications for humanity, that including the collapse of food and health systems. Of course. So if you take the food, for example, in the 20 years back, just not 100 years back, just 20 years back, if you take it, and we are eating the very good food, healthy food. If you see your father and forefathers, grandfathers, if you see those, the healthy conditions, what they are eating, they are not eating the the same food, but it is not a quality of the food. You see the quality of them. Now we are putting the, in a lot of what you call this pesticides, and lot of medicines we are spraying for the to grow the vegetables or maybe any crops. That was not happening in 30 years back, right? So that seems the vegetables or food items we are eating, and the quality of the water what we are going to feed for the crops, that is also impact on our health conditions. Okay, if you see, just to see that our fathers, our grandfathers, how they are healthy now, still they're 100 years, they are fit for that. But now, even 40, 50 years, 60 years, it's so difficult. They are getting a lot of diseases. That is because of we are, adversely, we are, first of all, we are not taking care of the, environment, and also we are doing a lot of activities for urbanizations or maybe our survival. Okay, that's the thing. So here is the biodiversity loss and the COVID-19. How this relates? The emergence of COVID-19 has made it clear that when we destroy the biodiversity, we destroy the systems, and that supports the human lives. By upsetting the delicate balance of nature and encroachment on wildlife, reducing the genetic diversity within the animal populations, causing climate change, extreme weather events, We have created ideal condition for spread of virus between the animals and the human populations. Okay, this is the nature, what the this message the nature has sent to us, I think. Okay, so it's a time for the nature. Reversing biodiversity loss is only way to restore and sustain a healthy planet. If you want to lead a healthy life, we have to restore our biodiversity properly. And this will only for possible when we understand the web of life in which we live and appreciate that it functions as a whole systems. All right. And there is a relationship with the nature, and and put the nature at our heart of our decision for making this type of decisions. Next part is that biodiversity hotspot. What are those biodiversity hotspots? Where they are? Okay, there are some of the on the earth there are some countries which have the very good biodiversity hotspots. Okay, a biodiversity hotspot is a biogeographic region with the significant levels of biodiversity that is threatening with the destructions. The concept was first introduced by the the man called Norman Maris in the paper published in the Nature Journal. And especially the hotspot represents an opportunity to help conserve the diversity of the earth. So it's all from the natures. We have not done anything for this. Okay, we didn't, we maybe put 10 or 20 plants, but natural the forest. If you see that how they are grown. Okay, so in the next slides contain the at least 1,500 species of vesicular plants and has lost at least 70% of its original habitat. You see this? This is very negative things. 36 hotspots have been identified all over the world, and most of them are located in the tropical areas. So, and these sites are supporting nearly 60% of the world plant. Maybe a bird, maybe a mammals, maybe a reptiles, or it may be amphibians, with a very high share of those species as endemics. So, what is the importance of biodiversity? Why we are giving the much of importance? As we discussed now, no nature, no life, no biodiversity, no ecosystems. We would not live the life on the earth. It's so difficult. We need a good air, we need a good food, we need a water to survive on the earth. We need air. Without air we can't survive for 5 minutes. In a closed container, if you are there without air, within 5 minutes, how your the health condition will happen, what will happen? You just imagine that. 5 minutes, it's not possible without air. Without water, you can survive for some extent. Without water, you can survive for some extent. Okay? And without food, many days you can survive. That's what I would say. Many days you can survive without food. Right? Right. And without air, we can't survive. That too, good air, good oxygens. You cannot survive. Right? So this is a very, very important from the natures. Right? Diversity, biodiversity is the underpinnings of all the life on the earth. Without species, there would not be no air to breathe, no food to eat, no water to drink, and there would be no life at all, human society at all on the earth surface. Okay, and here the map of hotspots over the extraordinarily well with the map of the natural process and that most benefits for the people. By one estimate, despite comprising of the 2.3% of Earth's land surface, forest, wetland, and other ecosystems in the hotspot, it accounts for 35% of the ecosystem services. Okay, and that vulnerable human population depends on this 35% of the the ecosystems. Okay, where are the hotspots in the world? In North and Central America, California, we have the provinces, Caribbean islands, Mandarins speak woodlands, and there is a Meso America, okay, and then in South America we have the Atlantic forest, corridor, Chilean winter rainfall, Valdian forest, okay, and in some tropical Andes and even in the Central Asia and South Asia's mountains of Central Asia's Himalayas, Eastern Himalayas, Nepal, India, and Indo-Burma, India and Myanmar, Western Ghats. You see the Western Ghats in India. Where is the Western Ghats? Western Ghats in India. Have you seen anyone Western Ghats in India? Manasa? Hello? Manjunath?
Yes, sir.
Where is the Western Ghats?
Sir, it's like near Maharashtra. That is it that part of the country?
How about the Manushri? Manushri?
Yes, sir.
Where is the Western Ghats? What are the states? It covers the Western Ghats. Could you please?
Or Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Goa.
Western Ghats in Tamil Nadu. Nagaveni? Yeah, you are right, some extent. Okay, Nagaveni?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where is the Western Ghats? What are the states comes under Western Ghats?
Tamil Nadu, Kerala.
Okay. Manushri is saying that somewhere in the Tamil Nadu, you are also saying the Tamil Nadu Western Ghats. Namita? Yeah.
Sir, in Karnataka and Maharashtra, sir.
Okay. Then Nuren ka?
Yes, sir. They are in Kerala and Karnataka region.
Okay. Neeraj?
Yes, sir. Mainly Kerala, Karnataka, and Goa, and some parts of Maharashtra, I guess.
Yeah. And Prajwal? Prajwal P. Are there? Niharika?
Yes, sir. Prajwal here, sir.
Yeah, Prajwal. Tell me, which states, the Western Ghats are there? Western Ghats, very thick forest. Now, you can't walk inside the forest. Even roads are not allowed, new roads are not allowed to, construct in such, Western Ghats. So we have to take a lot of permissions. That permission will not be, they're not at all going to, give the permissions. What are those areas? Which states? Western Ghats.
So some states are like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka, sir. Also,
Yeah.
like if anybody has ever traveled from Karnataka towards Goa, there you go across like 2-3 guards. So
Yes.
yeah, those are like very thick forests, and
Yes.
especially even from Karnataka to Kerala, you get forests on the way.
Yeah.
One is
Yeah.
Bandipur Tiger Reserve, very
Yes.
dense forests,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
you don't get permission to drive or ride in the night there
Correct.
because it affects the animals.
Yes, sir, that's right. Right. Ramya? Sachin?
Sir, it extends up to some places of Gujarat as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes. How about Ramya? Ramya Kashyap?
Yes, sir. Sir, Karnataka, Kerala, Goa, and some parts of Maharashtra.
Okay. What are the forest areas in, apart from the Western Ghats? Have you seen any forest places in Karnataka or in India? Okay, well, let's talk about India only. Any
So, Sundarbans in West Bengal.
All right, okay. Because you are coming from the different states, so it would be better if your respective states, if you have the very good forest, like here we have the Bandipur National Forest. So like that, you have the many forest places. So wildlife sanctuary is also there. In Madhya Pradesh, Tiger Reserve Forest also there. You have heard this maybe near Panna district, Tiger Forest there, right? Like that. So any other places? Do you have any heard this? Western Ghats is there. This is a complete, the forest. So if you take it, from the Kerala, Goa, Karnataka, Goa, Maharashtra, some extent to the up to the Gujarat. There's all Western Ghats. So Western Ghats, in the sense, it is in the western part of country, western part of India. So especially if you take the east coast, means that you'll get Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, that is both Andhra Pradesh, Telangana. It was there in the part of now. So that is a Western Ghat. That's the Eastern Ghats. Okay, Western Ghats, especially that is in the western part of the country, western part of India. Okay, that's called. Tamil Nadu will not come in the Western Ghats. Okay, that's not an issue. So this is a very thick forest, right? That's the ecosystems. You can see the many birds. You can see the many animals there. So right, and even you take the Bangalore city also. There are the many parks are there. Why we are keeping the parks here? You have to breathe ourselves very good with the good oxygens. If those parks with those water bodies, surface water bodies, many surface water bodies are disappear in the Bangalore itself because of urbanizations, because of development. We are not at all taking care of it. More than hundreds or disappear, I think, including the small and bigger, what you call this, the water bodies, surface water bodies. If those water bodies are, still alive in the Bangalore cities, and this problem will not happen. Like what we are breathing, the sudden change of a little bit, in the weather conditions, we are all sick in the Bangalore city. That is because of we are not at all taking care of the nature, especially in the Bangalore. So Hebbar Lake is there. That's a very good lake. Still, I'm not sure after 10 years what's going to happen for that. Okay, we should save the lakes, surface water bodies, so that we can breathe good with the good oxygens. So a lot of trees. There are many the programs is maybe planning, maybe planned, maybe they are going to plan it in future also to make the for the public convenient, to make the very good roads, widening the roads, cutting the trees. Okay, if those things are happening for another 10 years like this, if you're not taking care of the nature, without taking care of the nature, definitely we will eat only the not good oxygens. Definitely it will be a threat for it's very good, it's not good for the we need a development. Yeah, of course we need a basic facility, all the facilities. We need a very good the track the system, and at the same time we need to save the natures, save the water. If you see the best example, when we were, if there is a surface water bodies on the earth, and especially if you take the Bangalore, because it's urbanization happening very fast, and rapid urbanization is happening, and especially in the Bangalore cities. So when even in if you take the best example of Bangalore, especially Elanka, if you take the Elanka, so in 2000, if you 1998 to 2000, if you dig there just 30 feet down below the earth surface, you will get a very good of water. The open well they are making, open well, from the open well they are drinking the water. So at the same place, from the same place, if you drill it now, you will get water after 500 feet. If you are lucky, 500 feet. If you are unlucky, it may go up to more than 1000 feet. Just to imagine. So because here in the Bangalore, there is a lot of rain, but what happens? It will go because everywhere there is a concrete. There is no place to infiltrate. The water gets into the subsurface. Runoff is more. Infiltration is very less in Bangalore cities because no forest. We put everywhere concrete, everywhere tar road, everywhere concrete. So where is the time to settle down? The water. It's not all place to absorb the water and percolate, get into the subsurface to reach the surface, subsurface groundwater, so that you can extract the water from the borewell. So it's not at all happening here. That's why we are, a lot of scarcity, water scarcity in Bangalore. That's because of we are not at all taking care of the ecosystems, the forest, or it may be water bodies, or it may be a surface water lakes, everything. We are not, destroying the nature, in 1 day or 2 days. It took 20 years now. So for another 20 years, you just imagine what is going to happen. So take yourself initiations. If you have chance to, save the nature, save the trees, save the water, you save it. Save the lakes. If you get a chance. If you not get a chance, create yourself and save the natures by, contributing somewhere, plant the, the trees, and save the surface water bodies, especially the pond, lakes, okay, all those things. Okay, that's our duty. Actually, I would say it's a duty. Okay, and this is, some of the things. Western Ghats are very, very, maybe most of you people are maybe travel to Kerala and Goa, even Maharashtra also. So very good, the called the forest, but the different, birds. If you have a time, you can see that. Because of that forest, because of this, a forest on the surface of the earth, we are breathing, we are taking very good oxygens. Just imagine. Otherwise, we'll later, poisonous air. That's very difficult part. Okay, that should not happen. Okay, so it is in the, mountains of Central Asia, Eastern Himalayas, Nepal, India, Indo-Burma, India and Myanmar, Western Ghats in India, Sri Lanka. Completely, it's an island. Of course, there is a good, what you call forest will be there, and East Asia, Japan, mountains of, Southwest and West Asia's. Okay, West Asia is Caucasus, Irano, Anatolia, West Asia's. Okay, and if you see the, Southeast Asia and Pacific, see how the, if you see this, the nature, not in the photos, not in the television, not in your laptop, originally, if you are physically, if you are there, you just breathe, see the land, your eyes, your mind, things will cool down completely. You will not at all getting any tension there. This is how the nature gives us. Okay, New Zealand, Philippines, and Eastern Australian temperate forest, Southwest Australia's. So see in, Andaman Nicobars, you can see there, right? I'm not saying that we don't want. I'm not saying that, don't, do the organizations, don't do any development. We need a development, as well as we need to take care of the environment. Both we can do simultaneously. That way we can, balance the nature. That way we can, balance the ecosystem and biodiversity. This is about the things. So in the Indo-Burma, this, there are some 23 lakh 73,000 square kilometer of areas, tropical Asia of Ganga, Brahmaputra lowland areas. Okay, and in these regions, eastern, Bangladesh, and that extend to the northeastern India's, and south of Brahmaputra rivers. So these are all the, very good part of, in the, hotspot of Indian subcontinent. Okay, that hotspot encompass 33 terrestrial ecoregions, which includes the tropical and subtropical moistures and broadleaf forest, tropical and subtropical broadleaf forest, and also the temperature broadleaves mixed with the, mangroves. There are trees out there, right? And yes, other than this, and we have the very good, localized vegetation formations occur in Indo-Burma's lowland floodplains, swampy areas, mangroves, seasonally, the grassy areas. So these are all the, it gives us ecosystems, very good ecosystems. So to follow nature. In Western Ghats, I'd say I told you that Western Ghats is a mountain range that parallel to the western coast, the Indian peninsula, okay, located entirely in India. Okay, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is an height of the hottest hotspots in biological diversity in the world. Western Ghats especially. You see here, this is completely Western Ghats. Can you see the slide now? Anybody can confirm the slides are visible? Okay, okay. You can see this. This is a complete West Coast, Western Ghats, West Coast. This is complete the East Coast. Okay, and partly you can see the Tiruchirappalli here. And this is a Kerala, Goa, and Karnataka and Maharashtra somewhere here. And this is completely off, Tamil Nadu. And if you go to the Andhra Pradesh, the coastal. This is the eastern coast. This is the western coast, and it's the Western Ghats here, completely thick forest. And the forest, if you want to see the forest, especially in the three states where the Maharashtra, especially the Nagpur, and the Orissa, and even Andhra Pradesh. That is a central part of India where you can get the maximum of the what you call the forest, very thick forest. You can't enter into that. That's a thick forest, very thick forest. Okay, this is about 7,402 species flowering plants occurring in the Western Ghats, out of which 5,588 species are native places and the indigenous one. Okay, and among the indigenous species, 2,253 species are endemic to India, and of them, and 1,273 species are extremely confined to the Western Ghats. You see this, how the species, how many varieties are there, right? Apart from the 593 confirmed subspecies and varieties of 66 species, and and of course, therefore, there are about 8,080 taxa flowering plants are there. How these varieties of plants and are there in the species in the Western Ghats. So the only these numbers are very difficult to remember for us because we are not at all the biology or zoology the persons those who have studied the environmental studies and also the biology, okay, and also zoology. Those who have studied those things, their masters or maybe in the professional way of they're studying all these things, they can take the numbers and they can study on this. Okay, right. So it's a very difficult part, but if you understand the things, what is ecosystem, what is there in that, birds, animals, and the varieties of plants. Okay, those things are very the interesting one, the nature from the natures. Okay, and how this you can see this the ecosystems, how it works. You can see the nature. If you see the nature, you'll be happy because it will not hurt us every day. It will not hurt. It gives the good air, good breath, and that's why it's the nature is always the beautiful one. Okay, that is a thing. And hotspot conservation. How we are going to conserve the hotspots? Okay, critical ecosystem partnerships. That's a global program that provides a funding and technical assistance to the non-governmental organization. That's called the NGOs, and they're going to participate to protect the Earth's richest regions of plants and animals, diversity, including a biodiversity hotspot, high biodiversity, wilderness areas, and important marine regions. That's most important. And if you see then a worldwide fund for natures, especially in the global 200 eco-regions, the aim of which it is to select the priority eco-regions for conservation within the each of some of the 14 terrestrial, 3 are freshwater, and 4 are marine habitats. So this is how we need to conserve the hotspots. Okay, bird life internationals, plant life internationals, alliance for zero extinguishes. So these things are very, very important. Birds and plants, and alliance for the other things. Scientific organization, conservation groups are there who are focused on the most threatened endemic what you call species of the world. They have identified 595 sites and including the large number of bird lives. Okay, these are things, and This is a National Geographic Societies, which has a world map of hotspots with archive shape files. That means the GS software, they have identified and mapped it, and they are going to present the things, okay, metadata, and for especially for the biodiversity hotspots, including the details of individual and then fauna and flora and animals, plants and animals, right? And hotspot of biodiversities. This is how the things are there. Okay, this is a completely of the world where we are getting this, and here is the highest here somewhere, very thick, and the biodiversity hotspot of biodiversity is thick is happening here, and the green is little bit less, and very less in especially in this type areas. Blues, red shows highest hotspot of top areas in the biodiversities. Okay, and India where we are here, and it is a little bit moderate. Okay, right, but here it's this so God gives this nature such a way that in especially in the South Americas, especially in the Brazil, okay, Amazon forest and all those things over here, right? So here is the invertebrates and vertebrates, plants, and all those things. These are all the in the ecosystems what we have here. And yeah, what is the threatening, right? This threatening part we will discuss in the next class. Threatening to biodiversities, that's the most dangerous part. We should not do it, threatening to the biodiversities. So it's so difficult part. We should not neglect this, and we should support for the what you call this nature, right? Right. Do you have any questions related to this? Neeraj, Niharika, Nishant? Oh,
No, sir.
Okay, that's good. And also date 19th, right? Yes, Aditi? Okay. Thank you. The attendance quick. And Akshay Kumar? Okay, Anand?
Yes, sir.
Anand
Yes, sir.
Padmanabh?
Yes, sir.
Ashwini?
Present, sir.
One more thing. Have you got the MOOC, especially for EVS MOOC link?
No.
No?
No, sir.
I think, yeah. I will discuss with our HOD. Maybe he has shared. Civil HOD has shared this, and actually, yes. I will discuss with Banu Prakash. Maybe he's aware of this, and let me check with this.